What's up, guys? It's your boy Justin. Welcome to the latest episode of Tokusatsu Thursdays. I'm sorry this episode was a week late. When I'm recording this, it's like Friday. I got my days mixed up, so I'm like, oh crap. Well, I can't upload a Tokusatsu Thursday review on Friday, so I gotta wait till next Thursday. My bad. And today we're reviewing the 1992 sci-fi horror drama film Kamen Rider Shin, or also known as Mask Rider Shin, not to be confused with the new Shin Kamen Rider by Hideki Anno, which is like, as soon as I heard that Shin, that they were gonna make more of those that they were gonna do a Shin trilogy where they were gonna do starting with Shin Godzilla, they were gonna do Ultraman and Kamen Rider. I knew, oh my god, these movies are gonna get mixed up, right? So I thought, hey, since Shin Kamen Rider's out, or at least I think it is, I probably should review this movie first, right? Which this movie is available on YouTube on the official Toei Tokusatsu channel with English subs, not dub. Which I originally watched this movie years ago with no subs, but I was able to piece together the story with like 2 or 3 scenes where you have characters speaking English, which the English was not too bad. I've seen worse English scenes in Asian cinema, right? So yeah, this movie is directed by Makoto Tsuji, starring Kohisa Ishikawa as Shin Kazumitsuri, also known as Kamen Rider Shin, Joe Onodera as Goro, Yumi Nomura as Asuka, Akira Ishihama as Daimon Katsumisuri, Koki Kataoka as Gichi Onizuka, and you have a special cameo by Shotaro Ishimori, who is the creator of Kamen Rider, right? I'm gonna read the synopsis that like Toei put out, and then I'll go into my thoughts in the movie. Shin Kazumitsuri, a young motorcycle racer, volunteers to be the test subject for his scientist father Diamond's cellular research project. Shortly after, Shin sees himself turning into a murderous, bloodthirsty monster in his dreams. The research is not what it seems. The laboratory chief, Iwo Himura, has been less than trustworthy, and the mysterious entity known as the Organization lurks behind the scenes. Shin has memories of the bizarre string of murders, but is he really the serial killer? Alright. So yeah, like I said, the movie is a body horror sci-fi horror film, right? Very much in the it's not like, Tetsuo the Iron Man, but you can see, like, well, I think Tetsuo the Iron Man came out after this movie, or was Tetsuo the Iron Man like late 80s? I can't remember. But yeah, you can, like, they're basically going for Guyver in this movie. Which that's the problem when you make Kamen Rider bio-organic instead of, like, putting him in a cool costume, because then that makes him more like a Guyver clone. Which I know that Guyver is probably inspired by Kamen Rider, but come on, right? That was my main problem with Kamen Rider, the new Kamen Rider Black Sun show, where it's like, yeah, it's just, besides from them ripping off X-Men, right? That show felt more like a Guyver show than a Kamen Rider show. Right. That's the problem when you make a R-rated Kamen Rider with bio-organic armor suits or whatever, right? Yeah. So like the main plot of the movie is pretty close to the synopsis, is that You have Shin, who's a young man who volunteers to be a test subject for his father's research, which he's working as part of a team of scientists that, well, it's him and another guy called Onizuka, who is batshit fucking crazy. You find out later in the film that he wants to turn humanity into grasshopper hybrid humans, which the organization was okay with until, like, you know, he started going around killing people, right? Which they explain in the movie. They that's what I like, how they subtly explain certain things, where it's like, oh yeah, the reason why, like, Shin can see the other guy who can also turn into a grasshopper man going around kill people is because they're linked telepathically, right? Apparently grasshoppers are like certain species of insects can telepathically communicate with each other, right? Which I don't know if that's a thing in real life. That's what the movie says, okay? Yeah, so like Shin volunteered for his father's research, which his father is supposed to be working on, basically genetically engineering humans so they won't be susceptible to like cancer, AIDS, shit like that, right? But it turns out, oh, they're actually trying to create superhuman soldiers, and which they're just supposed to be like superhuman soldiers, but then like Onizuka is batshit crazy, starts turning them into grasshopper men, right? Yeah. There's also a female Japanese CIA agent who wants to help Shin. There's several battles in the movie where her and her CIA troops, which are all Asian, have getting battles with the cops and the Onizuka, who's a grasshopper man. Right. It's not literally, the movie's like an hour and 30 minutes. It's not till like 50 minutes into the film where Shin finally turns into his grasshopper form, which like, holy fuck. The special effects in the movie very much reminded me of the special effects from the first Terminator film. Right? And the special effects are not... Some of the transformation scenes look good, but there are scenes in the movie where, like, they're using wire fu, and unlike a lot of people, like critics who say, like, oh, I could spot wires in these wire fu scenes right away. A lot of times they're like, pausing, looking for the wires. Here, you don't need to pause shit. You can see the wires as they, like, broad as day, broad as daylight. Fuck. Oh my god. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, some of the special effects are not great. Our main character is like, it's weird how, like, it's just like, it's so weird, like, how easy the one Onizuka was to kill, right? But our main character, which the special abilities of the Grasshopper Man is not just, superhuman strength, he can jump, but he also has a fucking, like, Wolverine level healing factor, right? But apparently the weakness is like fucking fire or something. Which is not the end. The ending of the film is very much like, what the fuck? It's one of those endings where, okay, did he die or did he survive? You don't fucking know, right? There's only, besides from our main character, there's only two other monster men in the movie. One is the grasshopper, the other grasshopper, which our main character doesn't really fight at all, and the other one is like, it's hard to explain what he looks like. He kind of looks like the Zoa Lord prototype from Guyver OVA, but without the cool horns, and he has this weird like switchblade like right arm, right? Which is, I did think the scene where Shin kills him and the fucking thing it turns out the cyborg's head, which is the cyborg, it doesn't make sense why the cyborg is also bioorganic, right? When they explain that, oh yeah, he's a mutant, he's supposed to be like a half human robot, and it's only like the two like grasshopper men that are supposed to be bioorganic, but he also looks bioorganic, right? So it's like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense, right? Yeah, and there's also like a very colorful like, oh, I should mention, like, they did like sex scene in the movie where our main character just swims naked with his love interest. With his love interest's name is literally I, which translates to love. So it's like, what the fuck? That didn't go over my head, right? So yeah, I forgot to mention how like that Shotaro Ishimori had a special cameo in the movie where he plays like a corporate spy or whatever. Apparently, I don't know if this is true, but according to an old podcast I used to listen to, Rather Odd Ranger or Random Crap Podcast, I can't remember which name. They go by both names. You can find them on Podomatic or whatever. They're old episodes. I think they said that this interpretation of Kamen Rider was how the creator first envisioned him, but because of the live action, apparently when he was making the manga, right? Like the manga, like the TV show was getting made around the same time, and the show creators were like, no, you can't make him like, you know, a monster man. It's gonna be too frightening for the kids. So he had to make the cool costume, right? Yeah. So I don't know if that's true. That's something I heard, right? There is this thing where in the Tokusatsu community where anything that's R-rated, that's Tokusatsu, we have to give like, oh, 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 is masterpiece, right? This movie has its fucking problems, right? But, you know, it has great music. Cinematography was good. The acting was good, I guess. It's hard to tell. It's foreign language, right? And though the special effects and some scenes looked bad, like I said, some of the shots were not great. The wire fu was bad, but overall I enjoyed the film, but it's not great. I can see why some people would say this movie is better than Zeo and J, which I think that's bullshit. But the thing is, J and Zeo are better action films, while this is more, you know, this is more artistic, I guess. Right? It's trying to tell a mature story. But it's not, yeah, I don't know. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. I think if you're a Kamen Rider fan, it's worth watching, but, you know, don't go expecting like there's going to be a lot of action, because there's not. So yeah, that's it for this episode.